Hi guys, it's Gayle. I thought today, I think I'm actually caught up on my videos. I finished my part 2 of my Tupelo Designs video. I've got that all done. It's edited. It's scheduled to go to be posted on Monday. And so I decided today was going to be Turtle Day. And I want to show you what I've been doing. I may have shown you these little turtles before. Matter of fact, I think I did a video on them. But I've been making, or I haven't been making, at one time I made some of these little polymer clay turtles. And I recently went to the beach and, sorry, I'm going to work while I talk. The beach that I go to has a turtle hospital that I visit every time I go to the beach. And they do awesome work. They're in North Carolina, and they rescue sea turtles, rehabilitate them, and then release them back into the wild. And I, don't have a lot of extra money to donate funds. I buy a t-shirt or something when I go down there. But I decided I was going to make things and donate to them to sell in their gift shop. And one of the things that I decided to do, one of my other awesome friends that I met through YouTube sent me some things, and one of the things that she sent were these dominoes. And they're really not dominoes, they're big, they're like mahjong tiles. Like this. And they were on a key ring. So I decided to take these tiles off, and of course I'm going to keep them because you never know when you might want to make something with mahjong tiles. And put them on these little turtles that I made. So now I have let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I put on these key rings. So these are all ready to go to the turtle hospital for their spring season. They aren't open much during the winter months. So it's open to the public, that is. So there's no reason to have them in their gift shop. So I decided, I've still got 3 more to put things on. I did find this in my stash. That's another key ring type thing, and it has a little loop on it, so I might put one of these on here to make a different kind of key ring. But then I decided I was going to get out Penny Joe's turtle mold that I bought, and it's a little discolored because I use mica powders in it and everything. But if you can see this is a mold, and this is available on polyclayplay.com. And it's got a small turtle and a large turtle, and then it's got the cabochon, which is actually the shell that goes on the back. And there's different size cabochons. I'm not really sure what the others would be used for. But I decided with some of my leftover canes, I was going to make some turtles. Now these are the turtles that come out of the mold. These are the small ones, of course. And you can bend the head any way that you want to put it when you're finished, but I just like it the way it is when it comes out. And I made a little cabochon out of my kaleidoscope cane that I think I'm going to go ahead and bake this when I bake the others. But I think I'm going to use this as a sample mold, because when you pull your clay out of the mold, it stretches this cabochon shape just a little bit. And this way I can put this in where it belongs, and then I can kind of finagle the clay up so that it will fit when it's baked. And see, that's what it will look like when it's baked. And I think that's kind of cute. It's semi-realistic in that the turtle part of it is kind of realistic, and then it's whimsical with the shell. So I thought I would do that with my, of course, my kaleidoscope cane, which I reduced down really little. And I've also got my canes that I did, the monochrome canes that I did. I thought that would make a pretty pink shell. And I like the ones that have the centers, because if you look at a turtle shell, their designs usually have something in the center and it radiates out from there. But this is the cover sheet that comes with Penny Joe's mold, and it's called Best Flexible Molds, LLC. And it's solid, flexible rubber push molds by Penny Joe. Now, these are not made to go into the oven. She's very clear in that. They don't go in the oven, but they make such awesome, detailed, projects. And there's so many things you can do. With the larger shell, you can even do like a basket weave design, or you can do here, I don't know if you can see or not. See, those are some designs that she used with some, that looks like a silk screen or stamped, and that looks like a mica shift. But these are just awesome molds to use. And on here, on the front, let's see these circles? Well, they all have a measurement on them, from 3/8 all the way up to 1 1/16 inch. And on her directions, which are very detailed directions, she has this picture and this chart. And the picture shows like this, the big turtle base is T1. So you look down here to T1, you need a circle of a ball of clay, 1 1/16 inch big. And it just helps if you make your ball and you make it about that. Now, it's all going to be arbitrary. Like, this is the one that I need for the small turtle, and I do still have a little bit to shave off, but it kind of gives you a starting point on where you want to start. Get everything out of the way here. But it really turns out well, and then you can use your scrap clay to fill in on your cabochons, and I'll show you how I do that. But she's got very detailed instructions in several different languages. She's got it in French, in Spanish, I'm not sure what else, French and Spanish, I think. But I just thought, well, since I was going to be playing today, that I would just turn on the camera and let you play with me. So, I just wanted to do turtles. It's what makes me happy. So this clay has been sitting overnight. This is a mixture of greens. It's the same green I used over here. There's a little bit of glitter clay in it. And I'm just going to, let me see if I come in, if that gets you totally out of my range. Let's see if it'll stay there. My camera, my tripod doesn't always want to stay where I put it. But what I'm going to do is, I've squeezed this a little, warmed it up. And then what I'm going to do, and this is in her instructions, I'm going to make a long piece here, because that's going to go down into the head, where the head goes. And then I'm just going to, I might even pinch some off and put some over here for this leg. You can push your clay into the mold, or you can pull it apart and do this. It's just whatever makes it easier for you. But then you just press and press and press until you get into all the little nooks and crannies. Make sure that all the legs are filled in. And you can see, even though this was the size circle that she recommended, there's a little bit of extra clay here on the top, but I don't mind the extra clay. I would like to have that. So then after you get it pressed in well, just take your blade and very carefully just slice across the top and pull off your, pull that off. And you can see where you need to be careful not to cut into your mold, but you can see where you need to clear a little bit more off because the design isn't going to be clear. And just do this until all the extra is shaved off. See, I've gotten to where I don't even want to clay anymore unless I'm with y'all. But let me show you. Then when you get the clay in there and it's all shaved off, you can see the design. Then you just bend and separate the mold, the turtle from the mold. And these long legs, because they're long, you might want to pull those up. Just roll it up because you don't want to break them off when you're pulling this out. And what I've been doing is kind of taking it from this end and gently lifting it up, and then I get here and I just wiggle until the head comes out. And there's my turtle. You don't have to do any trimming. You don't have to, there's no, if you've shaved it off well, you don't have to do anything. And let's see how my cabochon fits in there. That's going to fit just perfectly. So I don't have to do anything to this one. And let me just show you a close-up of our little turtle. But see the detail that's on the legs and on the head? It's just amazing what she does. So I'm just going to put it on a piece of cardstock. And I'm going to make another one. I've got some more balls of clay here. But I'm thinking I'm going to make the turtles first. And then I think I'm going to bake those and bake the cabochon separate, and then, well, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. But again, and I'm going to go ahead and just pinch a little bit off now for the legs. And you don't have to, and I'll do one without pinching the clay off, but I just want to make sure I get everything in where it needs to go, and I'm just going to break this in half and stick it down in here where the legs are. The front legs, not all the legs. And I just push and make sure it gets into all the little places it needs to go. Goes into each leg. Press the head, make sure it's getting down in there. And it's best if you do this on a hard surface. And then you just shave the top off. I mean, it's that easy. I'm going to shave from the other side. Just because I have a little ragged piece there where I caught it with the blade, and I don't want to do that again. Because I don't want to slice this. I love this mold. I love all of her molds. She's got some awesome molds. But you can still see there's a little bit of roughness in here that needs to be shaved off. Not much. But if you do your work here, and just make sure everything is cleaned off. If you have just little pieces of clay that are stuck, just roll them with your finger from the mold to the clay. And it'll pull, it helps to pull the piece out of the clay too. See how, can you see how it's just separating a little bit there where I'm pushing? And that just helps with the ragged edges. Then you just bend it until everything is released. And again, once everything's released, I pull the legs up, the front legs, because those are the ones that are most likely to break. Just do it gently. Then I start at the bottom. And you notice I'm not even using anything for a release. Very gently pull the head out. That one got a little long. I probably pulled that too hard. But anyway, that's why I make the little cabochon. I'll take the cabochon and put it on there, and see where I stretched it a little bit, there's a little space. So while the cabochon is in here, I will bend the head up and just close in that space. So there's another one. Let's see, I've got a couple more balls of clay here that I did last night. So I'm going to go ahead and make what I can. That one was a little bit smaller, and this one ended up being a little bit larger, so I'm going to just pinch a little bit of the clay off. Now this time I'm not going to pinch off the end. I want to show you that you can take your clay and just push it. And you can push it into these legs. If you're concerned about seams in the clay or anything where you connect the loose clay to the solid clay, this kind of resolves that issue. But you just would take it and just keep pushing. And just get the clay over in that leg. Now I believe I've got it in everything. I just want to give an extra little tug around the head to make sure it's gone down into the head. And then you just slice it off. So this really isn't anything new that I haven't shown you before. I just wanted to kind of play today, and I wanted you to play with me. It's one of those pregnant pauses again. I just get to thinking while I'm claying. And again, this looks pretty clean. So I'm going to bend it to release it. And this one released all on its own, which is a good sign. This one takes a little more coaxing. And then you start at the back and be very gentle so you don't stretch your clay any more than you have to. And then just give it a little wiggle to get the head out. Again, this one's stretched, which is common. That's why I like to have the little cabochon here to mold around, because then I can make it so that it'll fit. That's why I'm thinking I'll do the cabochon separate rather than bake them together. But that will work like that. I think I need a regular size index card to put these on. I just had a scrap piece of scrapbook paper that I happen to have over here at this desk, so I was using that, and it's just not going to be quite big enough. Maybe I'll put my cabochons on that. Well, let me warm this up a little bit. This time I'm going to go back to pinching an end off for the legs, just because I don't have to press quite so much. Just make sure you've got enough clay to go down into where the head is. And you don't even have to have enough to fill these legs, just so you, of course I do, but I mean just so you can not have to push quite so much. And once you press and press and press, all this clay gets bonded together. So it's not an issue. I knew there was more clay in this ball than in the others. I figured out that if I roll this on the #1 setting of my pasta machine and cut it with this cutter, I come very close, a little bit larger than the size ball that I need, which is 13/16. And I think mine was just a smidge bigger, but it was the one smaller than this was too small. So I figured I'd rather have a little bit more than not have enough. You could slice from different angles. You don't have to do it all in one slice either. Just whatever's comfortable for you. Make sure you've got a fairly sharp blade. And that seems to have done it. So I like to go around the edges and kind of loosen the edges a little bit before I start bending just pull a little bit. It just helps this release better. Okay, so I'm going to release the legs. One thing I should have done while it's still in here is put my stamp on the bottom that says GT16, which is my initials and then the year 2016. And it's just a homemade stamp that I made. And just be gentle. The less pull you do on the head, the less this will misshapen, stretch. That looks perfect. So okay, so there's 6 turtles. And I need to decide what I'm going to do with these turtles. Do I want to make pendants out of them? Do I want to, like on these, I put the little screw eye on the end, which is good. But these are a little bit daintier, and I'm not sure what I would want to do. I wonder what it would look like if I put a chain through the head and just let it hang that way. That might work. But I think I'll do that when it's baked. I just love this mold. Alright, so now let me show you how I'm going to do these cabochons. Again, I'm going to use the mold, and this is the mold that fits the, it's the same mold as this. So I've got that cabochon, which I'm going to bake when I bake these. And I think I will take this one first. Oh, I even want to try my basket weave cane. I don't even know if I have any of that left. But this, I think, would make a beautiful turtle. So, it's a little big, but that's alright. I might even make it a little oval shaped. And you just slice a slice off. And get the center where you want it. And then just press it down into the mold. And if it makes it easier, you can just take some scrap clay and roll it into a little ball and stick it there, and then you can just press it down into the mold. Now you can see some of this pink is lapping over the side. That's okay. Let's just see what it looks like when I slice this off. And that's more scrap you can use for your next one. And let's see what this one looks like. I'll go around and release it. And there you go. Now this one split here a little bit, so I won't be able, maybe I'll use this one as my prototype. But now I'll know what to look for. So I might use this other one. So this is going to be my prototype. So let me try that again. And be a little more careful with how I press this in here. Maybe if you take a big ball tool, this is that Sculpey ball tool, and use it to press down. You can see more of what you're doing. I think I see what happened. Let me just make a little ball. Just press down and slice. Bend it to release it. If you want to use your fingers to hold it in place while you bend, that works too. And then just flip it over. Well, I say that, it's easier. I can't do it with my left hand. Grab the point, drop it into your drawer. There, that one turned out much better. Now let's see how this fits. Perfect. Now how do you like that on a turtle? I may bake these together. I don't know. We'll see. Let me put this on one. Although I do think I'll add a little bit of liquid clay in there, because these are two different types of clay. And let me see where. Here's my basket weave cane. I did get it out. Let me see how this is going to work, because I think that would make a cool looking turtle. And one thing you need to understand is your clay that's been sitting for a while is going to be cold and, you know, cool. So I think that's what was happening with my pink a little while ago. I just didn't take time to warm it up. But I'm going to put this end down and press it in with my, just do it gradually, because you, like with this, it's going to separate those those little basket weaves if you're not careful. Basket weave may not work because of that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because it wants to separate. Can you see that? It wants to separate when I try to bend it. So that's probably too much of a bend while it's warm. I mean, while it's cool. Let me just try keep warming it a little bit and see what happens. Can you hear my dog? The way it sounds like she's panting. It's actually my daughter's dog, and I think I've mentioned this before. She has laryngeal paralysis. So it makes it sound like she's struggling to breathe, and she's really not. That's just the way her breathing sounds now. Now let me see if this works any better since I've warmed it up. It does a little bit, so let me try some clay. Make a ball of clay to press in the middle, and let's just see what happens. It still may not work. I won't know till I try it. And I know I told you, I think I told you that there's a art gallery. There's an artist at the beach where I go, and she has her gallery there, and she's a watercolor and pastel artist. She does awesome things, and it's mostly beachy themes. And when I visit her gallery whenever I go to the beach. Now see this, it's still cracked a little bit and the green is showing through. I don't know if I can fix that or not. But I just need to really work on getting that warmed up. But anyway, she wants to carry my sorry, I'm looking for another cane that I wanted to use. She wants to carry my turtles in her gallery, and at the end of every year, she donates the proceeds from any sales that she made to the turtle hospital. I'm looking for this. Remember this cane that we did? Wouldn't that make an awesome turtle shell? Well, let me just warm it up a little bit. But anyway, she used to sell polymer clay turtles, and she didn't have any this year. And when I asked her about it, she said the girl she was getting them from wasn't doing them anymore. So when I told her I was a polymer clay artist, she asked me if I would do them, and she would buy them from me and put them in her store. And then what she does, she keeps track of all the turtles that she sells of various kinds. She's got all different kinds of turtles. But then all the proceeds that she makes from the sale of any turtle in her gallery goes to the turtle hospital. She just writes them a big check at the end of the year. So there are some things that I'm going to send to the turtle hospital, and there's some things I'm going to send to her. I hope this works because I love this cane, and I was trying to think of what I would do with it, and it would just make awesome turtle shells. I probably should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of this that this is really not a tutorial. It's just watch me play. Because there are some people that really wouldn't be interested in watching me do this. But I really appreciate those of you that do. Wasn't quite shaved off as I realized when I was pulling it out. And I'm going to my very first scrapbooking convention tomorrow. Oh, that's split too. I just need to work a little bit more on... I might be able to salvage this one. You get one of Tiny Pandora's cane benders because I like using the little tiny one as a rod for some small projects like this. See if I can spread this a little bit. Just split a little bit, and I just can't seem to get this clay to move, which means I didn't warm it enough. Gayle. You know what I might do is take a tiny slice, because that was a little bit thicker. So actually what I might do is take my regular rod and make this a little narrower. And maybe in doing this, it'll warm the whole cane up a little bit, and I won't have such stiff pieces slicing off. But I need long and skinny for this. So those are the two long and skinny sides. I won't press so hard on that one. Let's just wake this clay up a little bit. You know how to wake up clay? You wiggle it and you twist it, and that gets the inside moving rather than just the outside. I really don't want to reduce it. I just want the inside to warm up a little bit. So I don't know how this little rod will work. Not as well as the big one, but I just wanted to even this back up a little bit. And slice off the end, because that wasn't really good. And then let's try this again by putting this over it. Maybe if there's any little crack, this will cover it up. Let's see what happens. And I think I felt it break because I didn't take the time to warm it up either. So I really want to use this cane. But see, there you go. If it cracked, you can't see where it cracked. And let me put that in here. kind of lost my little point here, so let me just press that in a little bit. And that fits good. I've got 3 more to make. I'm going to go back and do another one of these. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to put, this is my basket weave. I'm going to cut a small, thin slice. I'm going to try to get it warmed up, especially in the middle. I think that's what I wasn't doing. I was warming it up all around and I didn't get the middle very well. And cover this with that. And then put it back in the mold. Although this point's going to need to be near the point or it's going to not work. And let's see what happens. See, this is kind of what I do when I'm trying to think of things to do with y'all. The ones that I do in advance, a lot of times I don't do them in advance. But I just sit and I'll do what ifs. You know, let me try this, let me try that. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, then I try to find a better way to do it. That's still not cleaned off. Oh, anyway, I was telling you I was going to my very first scrapbooking convention tomorrow. Some ladies from my church are into card making, and they've invited me to go. It's out of town, it's a little ways away, but I've never been to one. Of course, I don't have any money to shop. There, that turned out better. I don't know if it's because it was warmed up or because I've got the blue underneath it, so if it separated, it still looked like it was blue. But anyway, I'm looking forward to going. I've never been. I don't have any. I've been to polymer clay conventions, shows, whatever you want to call it. But I've never been to a scrapbooking convention, so that will be interesting. Actually, this one is kind of overlapping my turtle a little bit. I'm glad I turned that around. Just be sure when you're doing these, or anything, that you look at it from all angles before you declare it finished. Because that one was overlapping the bezel a little bit. Okay, I've got 2 more. Let's go back to, well, actually, let me do this one. Y'all remember this one, my very favorite cane. This one. I think that would make an interesting turtle shell. And actually this, no, it's got a bad place in it. That's where I had made something else. But this does have holes in it, so I don't know if this will work or not. But I'm going to make this a little bit thicker just because it does have the holes. Can you see the holes in it? See, as I go across my green, you can see the green come through. Because I'm going to have to kind of compress this a little bit. Or, here, the lights are coming on. I could take a little piece of black Excuse me for a minute, because this is left over from yesterday. well, not yesterday, but left over from when I was doing my kaleidoscope cane. But if I put that on a piece of black, then the holes don't really matter, do they? And let me see if I have a... No, I don't have any cutters. I've got teardrop cutters, but none that big. And this is my largest oval cutter, and I don't think... No, that's not wide enough. So let me do a circle. This ought to be plenty big. Just to cut this down a little bit, because that's a lot of clay to be putting over. Let me move this out of the way. But I know the black is conditioned. Hopefully this is conditioned just by me messing with it. And let's see what happens. It doesn't bend very well. Those little circles want to bend. So let me try compressing it and closing up some of those little spaces. You know how it is when you bend something that's got spaces in it, the spaces spread out, and that's what's happening here. It's still happening. You think I'm crazy because I just keep trying and keep trying, but I love this cane and I don't want to waste any of it. All right, now it's all one sheet. And just take it gently. Maybe this is too big. Maybe I ought to try the medium-sized one and try pressing it down a little slower. I believe that's going to work. We'll see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this clay down into the mold just so that the clay that's inside is the same color as what's on the outside. And let's see what happens now. Even that's pretty, isn't it? It's funny. Before I started doing polymer clay, I was such a perfectionist. And I didn't like anything abstract. And then I met this abstract artist. I was looking for, well, I think I just messed that up when I pulled it out. But that will work if I maybe start at the beginning. I might use this. But anyway, I was looking for some greyhound art. Let's see, maybe this one is a little bit more together. A little bit. Oh, and there's some of that crackle cane. Remember that one? I have little pieces of canes everywhere. I might try this one. This one might be a little bit more together because I actually use this as a cane. This was the first one I made. It's still got some holes. So I'm going to put it on this because it's already here. But anyway, I was looking for some greyhound art, and I ran across this artist. Her name is Heather Gayle. And if you get a chance to look her up on, well, just do a search, a Google search for her. She is awesome. But she had a greyhound. I'm just looking for a little bit bigger circle. She had a greyhound abstract that I saw, and of course, and you'll do this too if you don't already. Every time you look at something, you wonder, how can I do that in polymer clay? So I asked her if she would mind if I used her design to create, because hers was acrylics, I believe. If she would mind if I used her design in making a polymer clay duplicate. Because I felt like if I could do one following her design, then after that I could probably come up with my own. And she said she was very thrilled at the possibility of me doing something like that. And she said I had her permission. The only thing she would ask is that I send her a copy of it, a picture of it when I do it. So I did that, and I was just so amazed by her that I started publicizing her on Facebook, and her art has grown, and now her art's being carried in Target. And she does lots of Mexican folk art, animals, dogs, cats. She does cityscapes, but it's all abstract, and they're absolutely beautiful. So look her up. If I can remember, because it's not easy to do, I will attach a picture of the abstract that I did, and then my avatar of the white greyhound is the same design, but I did it in white and black because I had lost a white greyhound and tried to make it look like him, and he's like an angel. He has wings and a halo. But she also does free prints. If you've lost a pet, a cat or a dog, of course right now it's like a 3-year wait, but she has a program where she will do a complimentary print of your lost pet. And I mean, she's just an awesome person. And I actually, when I moved into my new house, well, it's not new, it's an old house, but it was new to me, she asked me to send her a picture of it. She wanted to see what it looked like, and what she ended up doing was doing a picture of my house. And, you know, it was just awesome. She's a great person. That one's better. Don't know if I can salvage this or not. I may be able to. Probably the only person that's going to see the flaws in this is going to be me. Let me just see what this looks like in one of these green turtles. Actually, I could do a turtle in black and put one of these on there, couldn't I? I may do that. So, if I do that in black, I'm back to doing something else. Let me do the other pink cane that I did that was the opposite of that one. You remember these? And this is the one I've already done. So let me do this one. and see what that looks like. And I've got this big slice that I took out. I might use that as the backing for the... Actually, this is the one I took out of the other one, but it seems to work better if you use light colors. So let me see how this is going to work. I've got to dust this out. I should have paintbrushes galore because I use them all the time. But this has got black clay in it. That didn't work. So let me get a little bit of water. I wouldn't use alcohol because alcohol will dry it out. But let me use some water and a Q-tip. Can't seem to get rid of that black that's in there. So let me try a baby wipe. Hope you keep baby wipes at your desk because they're awesome to clean with. They clean your hands, they clean your tools. Yeah, that's working better. Clean as new. May as well clean the rest of it while I'm here. I don't think I can clean off this mica powder without using a Q-tip getting it down in the ridges, but I can clean the rest of it. Okay, clean my fingers while I'm at it. They clean your pasta machine. You can use these to wipe your pasta machine. So let's see how this is going to look. See if it little circles near the middle. It would look better if it was in the middle. And I'm going to do like I did before. I'm just going to push, since this is such a large slice, I'm just going to use this to push into the mold rather than push a separate piece of clay in. So I may do this once in a while just when I'm playing. Ooh, isn't that cute? And that ended up just in the right place. Except I got my thumbnail right there. I think that one will work. And I need one more. Let me see. What else have I got out here that I haven't used? This one. Make a little bit of a crackle. I say crackle. This is a lace cane, but there's not enough of this to press. Well, maybe it is. I was thinking there wasn't enough of this to press in, but it did. It filled the cavity. But I thought I would do some whimsical type turtles, some realistic type turtles, some combination turtles like this one. No, that didn't do well at all, did it? Maybe I shouldn't press it too much. Maybe I should put a separate piece in behind it. But I do know it's separated right in the center where these, remember this is 4 canes that are stuck together, and right there in the center it wanted to separate. So let me just make sure I press those seams in the center. Let me get my little, what I do with my, here it is. Only thing about lucite and clear acrylic is they get lost on your table because they're clear. Let me see if I can press this in a little bit. Stretch it slowly instead of just shoving it like I was doing. And I'll use this. Let's see what happens. Okay, fingers are crossed. Oh, it's split right, well, what is that? It doesn't look like it's split. It looks more like, let me see if I can find a little skinny piece, because you know me, if I can fix it, I will. Now, no one would ever know that there was a problem with that, would they? I'm the only one that would notice that this little piece is going in a different direction. So let me, I just squeezed my cabochon. I hope I didn't misshapen it. And I did notice just now that there is a little piece of green that I evidently did not smooth out when I, on the edge. Fix that. There we go. So now I've got these 6 turtles, and I have to decide now, I'm going to get this black to work, but I have to decide now, do I want to highlight these now with perfect pearls, or do I want to wait until they're done and put some Inca Gold on them? Let me see what colors of Inca Gold I've got. Oh, I think the Inca Gold is going to win out. I may put a little bit of purple on one, just to highlight a little bit, not a whole lot. This one that's got the purple on it, I just feel like if I just added a little bit of purple highlight. Of course, green and purple don't go together very well, so I don't know how that's going to look. But you know, this was all scrap clay that I used anyway. Just to add little purple highlights. I know you can't probably see it. And I might put some Inca Gold on it after it's baked. But I could put a little bit, actually I'm going to put brighter green on that one. I don't know if this is the green I want to use. Let me just do a little sample here. Just take some scrap clay, because I've got several greens. This is Forever Green. That gives it a shine. I might stick with this. Just, oh yeah, that looks nice. Gives it a nice green shine. Sort of like a pearl shine. And you have to be careful going around. You got to get it around the shell. I think I like that on all the greens, even the ones I'm going to leave green. I think I like this. Can you see the difference between this one that's got the green pearls on it and this that's sort of plain? Kind of like that. But I don't have a pink, but I do have this red, and it seems to me the last time I tried this red, it turned out being pink. But red and green make mud. Well, that has a little bit of a pinky shine to it. I just thought I would use that just a little bit. Not going to cover it. I just want to add a little bit of shine. So that the pink blends well with the green. And just go around the shell, because that green just sort of jumps out at you. There. It's a little bit. Do I want to do it on the other pinks? Where did I put the ones that I've already done? Got my little key rings. There they are. That's the blue. I don't know. I kind of like that green, but none of the others are really green. So I think I'm going to put this away. And I'm going to put this away. And I've got a real pretty blue. It's sort of a aqua color. That's the label. Yeah, I like the way that looks. That's pretty. But you can see when I get to playing, I do all kinds of things. And if it doesn't work out, it's only clay. I can do it again. But I needed some downtime. And this is my favorite kind of downtime. Okay, and then on the others, I think I'm either going to put a silver or a gold. Although I don't know that I've got I do have turquoise. I forgot I had that. I don't believe I have a gold. I've got a... No, that's the kiwi. I don't know if this is the color gold I would want. This is sort of an antique gold. I don't think that would look good with the pink. I think I'll leave those alone and use some Inca Gold on those when it's all done. So that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm going to bake these, and if you want, I can come back and finish, do a little bit more on finishing so I can show you what I decided to do. But in the meantime, hope you have a great day. Do something fun, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, my turtles are all baked and cooled and ready for me to decorate. So let's see what we can do with these things. I have got some that I put the perfect pearls on, and I really like the way that this, look how that green shines, whereas this one is left by itself. Well, you can't probably see the difference, but this one has got a definite shine to it. I did add a little bit, just a dot of liquid clay underneath each one of these turtle shells, just so it would so I could make sure that they would stick. I didn't want to lose any. And I'm going to be highlighting now with the Inca Gold. And I think I'm going to try first these that didn't have any perfect pearls on it. And this one I had put some red perfect pearls on. And then when I was setting it with the liquid clay, I decided I didn't like the red on there, so I wiped it off with a baby wipe, but there's still some on here. It didn't totally clean it, and that's okay. I don't really care about that. So let me see what I want to do. This one does have some purple on it already, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of the purple Inca Gold. Oh, that's nice. That one had a little thing. Now you can use a dauber. This one I have used on the green, but I think I'm just going to use a Q-tip. A cotton swab. Q-tip is a brand name, right? And you could use your finger, you could use a brush, but I think I'm just going to use this. And I'm just going to put a little bit of a different purple on here. Maybe I'll use my finger. It doesn't seem to do well with the cotton. And that's too much. You just kind of have to play with it. Let me wipe it with, that doesn't look bad. Wiping it with the cotton swab. baby wipe. It wasn't a cotton swab. Anyway, I'm just going to rub this with a little bit of the purple Inca Gold. Just to give it some color. Not that I don't like the green, but the green is just so stark green. You know what I mean? It's just like in your face kind of green. And there are places that I can't get to, and this is where the Q-tip will come in handy to go into these little recesses. Maybe I do need to use the sponge dauber. This just doesn't seem to be working. I've got some more, but I'm not sure where they are right at the moment. So I will go ahead and use the same little one that I used for the green. You can control this much better with the dauber. And I don't mind having the green on there. I want some of the green to show because turtles are kind of greenish. So that's green and purple. And I think that will look nice. Anybody that likes purple will like that one. And I'm going to put this little cover back on. My others don't have those covers. That's nice. I like that. Keeps them from drying out. It's the only problem with the Inca Gold is they do dry out. Alright, that was the purple. Now I have a red, and I have a pink, and I have a different color, which is, I'm not sure what that's seaside. Let me get my little gripper out. See, this is a little bit deeper pink, so I'm not sure which would look the best. This one needs some water. Another thing with Inca Gold, they are water-based, so when they dry out, all you need to do is sprinkle it with water. And I didn't really need to do that one because that's not open. No wonder it looked dry. It's the top of the pink. Just let it sit for a few minutes. Because Inca Golds are water-based. So let me see what this is going to look like. That's that one. And my pink one, this one ought to be okay. It's got the little stopper in it, which I love these little stoppers. I wish they were in all of them. But they're hard to grab hold to pull out. There. So this is the lighter pink. I'm not going to push that down yet. And then this is the red, Marsala. Ooh, this one's soft. Let's see how that looks. So there's my three choices. This is the darker pink, that's the Marcella, and that's the light pink. And I'm kind of liking this Marcella. It really matches. So I'm going to spray some more water on this medium pink. My water's running out. And it goes this way. Put that on top. Make sure it's tight, and hopefully that water will let it soften up. And then I'll close this Inca Gold. And I'll put these, not put them away, but at least get them out of my way. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to get some of the Marcella off of me, or I'm going to have it all over everything. Okay, so here we go. Let me try this and just see what happens. Ooh, that's pretty. Oops. Now if I can just figure out how to get it down in these little recessed areas. But let me work on just getting the areas I can reach first. I don't want it solid. I know what I'm going to try. What about a makeup sponge? I've got those. Let's see if I can get it on the end of a makeup sponge and get it in these little places. Oh, that works. See, I told you, I've got a little bit of everything here. Just trying to get it in some of these areas where my fingers wouldn't reach. Do I keep moving out of the do I keep moving out of the shot? Or was I ever in the shot? Now that's a little heavier than what I wanted, so I'm going to take a baby wipe and just wipe over it a little bit. See if I can wipe some of it off. I know, I go to all that trouble to get it on there, then I turn around and wipe it off. But I really like the green to show through, and this was pretty overwhelming on the green. But that doesn't look too bad, does it? I do need a little brush. To just kind of get around here. There. Now let me see if I can do another one and not quite cover it quite so heavy. So maybe I'll use the brush. That might work better, and just slightly dab. That looks much better. Just kind of highlight instead of totally covering it, which is what I intended to do, but it just didn't seem to work out that way. Getting a little bit too much on the head. I think this one looks better because it's not so overwhelmingly pink. I'm not really a pink person, but this is more of a magenta. Let's see, here are the two that I've done. One that's really, really pink, and the other one that's just touched pink. I think I like the one that's just touched pink much better. So the way to go is with the brush. And the only thing I'm going to do is maybe get just along these edges a little bit where it's still bright green. I love Inca Gold. These are available at Tupelo. I love them. And these will dry. They're water-based, so they dry pretty quickly. There. So I think I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Just get some on my brush. And just lightly brush over. You can get these little trial sizes of Inca Gold again at polyclayplay.com, because the normal size is this size, and that's just huge. You only use a tiny amount when you're using it with polymer clay. Those other sizes are for people that artists that actually paint with this stuff. So if you're interested in trying some of the Inca Golds, you might want to try going to Polyclay Play and getting one of the sets. Like this was a set. It's called a tower. And it's really a good way to get a variety of colors, and they're fairly inexpensive considering what you're getting. It's like maybe $15 for the set. But there's another one that's just highlighted. I like that one. Okay, let me see if I can get any more water out of this. My water bottle is about empty. But this is a water-based, it's actually a paint. But I'm going to put this back in because it seems to keep it from drying out. I like that. Whoops. I just dropped my brush on the floor. I don't know if I can wipe this up or not. I might have to Well, it's not totally dry, but it's beginning to dry. I think I need a new paper towel. Which is why I have a paper towel rack right here over my work table. So this one I added some Perfect Pearls to, and I think I'm going to leave that one alone. And I might, what should I do? I do have some blue. I might add just a touch of blue. And I'm not going to use my finger because my finger, it's still got pink on it, my brush does. But I'm not going to use my finger because that seems to get too much on it. On a bigger area, it works great with your finger, but on these little places. Now this one I had put water in before because it had dried up and put the top on it, and it's done really well. But I think I'm just going to put just a little dusting of blue on here, maybe around the edges, so that you may not even know that it's there. It's just going to kind of add to the Perfect Pearls. What I need is a little bucket of water like you do when you're using other acrylic paints. I like this blue. You can barely see it, but it's just enough of a blue tint. It kind of looks like a pearl, but it's got the blue to, a little bit of a blue shine to it. So this is going to be very subtle. Maybe do it on these underneath areas. Yes, I do like that. It added just a little bit of something to it. I like the Perfect Pearls. And then this just adds a little bit to it. Like that a lot. So on this one, I might add some blue to that one too, since it's doing so well. Can you see the difference in the shine between this one and this one? This one, they both have the green Perfect Pearls on it, and then this one I just highlighted with a little bit of blue. Can you see the difference? Let me come in a little bit. Can you see that difference? This one has just a little bit of blue, and I kind of like that. So let me add a little bit of blue to this one. And I'm just dusting it lightly. I am going around the cabochon, or the shell, whatever you want to call it. And then just barely brushing the surface on the legs. And then I'll get underneath on the head. And what I'll be doing a lot of these in the future, and I've got a group of green clay somewhere over here on my table. I've really accumulated a lot of scrap. But I will be using different colors. They won't always be green. I might have a purple turtle or a red turtle. I might even add a little bit of blue to these reds just because it really adds a nice shine to it. I like that a lot. And I'm also going to glaze these. I'm just going to put some Varathane on these to glaze them, and that'll keep this Inca Gold and everything else. This is just, I love this blue. I wouldn't have thought to put blue on the pink, but mixed in with that Marsala color, it really changes the look. I like that. So let's get it on this one that's totally pink. Maybe I can salvage some of that. Let me put a little bit heavier on here, since that's such a bright pink. That's nice. I'm in love. It's not many things that I'm really impressed with, but I am really impressed with this blue Inca Gold. Because even though you don't really see the blue, it just adds so much. I really like that. This tower is called Seaside. There you go. Can you see? It's worn off, but this is the tower that I got at Polyclay Play. And she always gives you a little brochure. Let me come back out so you can see. But she gives you a little brochure, and she'll say in here, don't worry, it's normal for it to dry up. Try heating it slightly because this is beeswax, or then you can add distilled water or alcohol to it. So I keep this, but I really like the way this turned out. I didn't put any blue on that purple, but I think I'm going to. I really like the way that turned out. Since I've already got it on my brush, I may as well, right? I think the other was just a little too strong, and this just tones it down. There. I'm happy. I think that's going to work great. Let me hope I haven't ruined my brush. I need to take this and put it in a jar of water before this dries. But all I'm going to do now is I'm going to put Varathane over it to give it a little bit of a shine, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to drill a hole in it. So hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I was just playing today and thought I would invite you to play with me. So if you're not interested in turtles, I'm sorry, because they're wonderful creatures. But this is what I'm going to be doing for the Turtle Hospital in North Carolina. So hope you like them. I will come back soon. Bye-bye.